Here is a midsummer look at our garden in the Chicago suburbs. It's really kind of come together this year, so this is about August 1st. Things have really kind of filled in, so we can kind of go through it. In the front, we have caladium, different varieties. Over here, this is Red Flash. I think I've had this the longest. It takes the longest to get started, but it tends to be the largest and fills in the most. This is White Christmas. The stuff that's mainly white is White Christmas. Florida Sweetheart grows really low to the ground, but the color on it is awesome. The one behind it, I'm not sure what this is. At one point there was a reorder of, I used to have White Queen, which is a real pink looking one. I put an order for White Queen and I got this. This is not White Queen, but it's a good multicolor tropical look. I have it running along the back all the way along here. Then we have more White Queen over here, airplane going over the top. And then these all the way around are Ito peonies, which for about 2 weeks in June produce fantastic dinner plate size, non-drooping yellow flowers. But that's 2 weeks a year. The rest of the time they're basically a shrub. This year, triangle palm. On either side of that, I've got Abyssinian red banana this year. I try to lean into things that I at least can take a shot at overwintering. So I don't have a heck of a lot of sun space, but we'll give these a shot in the winter and bring them inside. All the caladium and the elephant ears, which I'll show you in a second, get wrapped up as bulbs, and those get dry stored downstairs. I have two Washingtonia robustas. These, one of the most bulletproof year in year out overwintering plants if you can provide it with maximum sun, and for our house that's difficult, but they bounce back and they're looking pretty good right now. This is just a regular banana plant that I bought years ago for $6 at Home Depot. Tiny little Cavendish dwarf banana. It's since grown, divided, been in rough shape, fallen back, come back again. By this point in the summer, every year it comes back. It obviously needs to be divided again. I just haven't gotten to that yet. Over here, going down this path, mix of all kinds of things. This year, elephant ears. I have so many jumbo elephant ears, tons. If you overwinter them, you give them a lot of space, and you put them in the ground in the Chicago suburbs, give them a lot of lateral space, dig a big fat hole for it, they do really, really well. So they were expensive, but they just kept growing and dividing and growing and dividing, and now I have to find space for them every year. Canna lilies, I'm not sure exactly what this variety is. It could be like a Tropicana or something like that. I got these on sale at the Chicago Botanic Gardens 5 or 6 years ago. And I've had, I think, more. I think I had maybe one that died, maybe another that died, but then these ones have come back, thrived, have divided, so those are hanging on. Here's some more of that other variety, and then in the middle, these actually are White Queen. Really nice pink color on these. You put these in the sun, they'll turn a beautiful shade of pink. I used to have more. I think I accidentally cooked a batch in heat trays in the spring once and lost a bunch of them. Haven't had as many come back. And again, I'd have a lot more if the ones that are flanking it were actually White Queen as I'd ordered them. These calla lilies, these were all, I think a couple maybe I got at a garden store. One was like a present that I think I had gotten for a Mother's Day present, potentially for either my mother or my wife, and then just put outside afterwards just to let them have the summer and tropical look. Over here, Again, so many jumbo elephant ears. The key with these, the roots like to go laterally. They like to spread out. But if you dig a big fat hole, put some well-draining soil in, they'll get huge. Last year I had a couple that were really big, but even now, for point of reference, let me put my foot up in front of this so you can see just how big these are. They're absolutely enormous. Here's my hand, so big. The only surprising thing is I put this one in the ground. I usually try to figure out, all right, which ones are going to be the champions based on how they grow starting in the spring in the grow room. Which ones look like they'll be the biggest. I thought this was going to be one of the biggest. My hunch is earlier on in the season, it was blocked from the sun by these, and as a result got slower. But literally everything else is big. There are two sad looking Ito peonies. 3 were transplanted, 2 went into transplant shock, are not doing good, but they'll come back next year. And then the single thing that I probably get the most comments and questions about, the Musa Bastius Japanese fiber bananas. I'm telling you, if you want something that you can keep in the ground and have a show-stopping tropical look, these are the thing. I credit Banana Joe and several other people for putting me onto these, but they're not edible bananas. But with some bubble wrap, a little mulch perimeter, and a tarp, you can keep these alive in the Chicago suburbs. They grow like crazy, they come back. They're way ahead of where they were last year when they'd been kind of planted in the ground. Those are at least 12 feet and they'll grow more. These will grow all the way into October, so they're so big. And there's a lot of them. They get really nice big trunks on them. They grow really fast, so they start off looking as kind of a really nice ornamental plant, and then they grow up. At the start of the year, I want to have one over here, so I cut off a shoot over here. At first I thought that it had died, but I'm telling you, these things are hardy. It eventually finally got established. Now it's growing. Hopefully it'll survive the winter this year. Give it a couple more months to grow, protect it, let it survive, and then we'll see. Hopefully it'll come back and there'll be one on either side of that window. That's just about it. Here's the other Washingtonia growing up here. And again, you might be looking, and if you know anything about palms, you'll be like, don't Washingtonias grow really, really fast? Why are these not larger? Because I did a really, really bad job in the winter with these in terms of not giving them enough sun, to the point where they look like they were practically dead. But I nursed them back to health, and once you get them outside, they do really well. And they can go outside early, because this is a desert palm. It gets really cold in the desert at night. These things can handle 40s. You can get them out, you know, April. As soon as you're sure there's not going to be another frost, honestly, like, they do it. And then over here, some more mix of elephant ears and bananas coming all the way through. So yeah, the great thing about this is it's pretty much all sustainable. I mean, not sustainable, like it all needs plenty of soil and water. But, I mean, I don't have to buy it all new every year. The Musa Bastius stay in the ground. Elephant ears, bulbs, caladium, bulbs, and calla lilies, etc. Calla lilies can be bulbed up, and then try to put these in a sunny space and keep them afloat for the winter, and it all comes back. So again, it's a labor of love, it's a hobby, but if you're interested, you can have a garden just like this in the Chicago suburbs.